Good morning, everybody. So today I'm going to be doing an FPP on Scooby-Doo, which I thought you'd like to see how I actually did it. I'm not going to show you all of the techniques I used, but I will explain a lot of it because this isn't my pattern. I got it free off Fandom in Stitches. So there's two techniques, one where you can actually sew on the line of the pattern, which is what I'm showing you here, and obviously in between each sew you need to give it a good press back. The other option is I fold the paper back. This is what I use, and I stitch next to the fold of the paper. I do this because it's so hard to actually rip off. So here's the actual pattern of Scooby-Doo, and this is how he comes out. So piece A, which is his eye. Then once I've created all of it, that's how his first eye looks. It's pretty cute, I think. It looks lovely. So then onto piece B, which is part of his second eye. And once again, I've joined, and that's what it looks like from the other side. As you can see, I've missed a little bit there. I'm not worried. So piece C is part of his eyebrow. The colour blue on that is the background fabric, and on this I've actually chosen a pinky colour background to make him up with his little eyebrow. And piece D, so it's only a tiny little piece of the brown, and all the rest of it is background. So that's how that looks once that's sewn together. I always use a skull glue, Elmer glue stick to stick my first piece down. It just stops it moving about when I'm sewing next to the paper. Sometimes when I've folded the paper back, as you can see there, I actually catch the paper, but it doesn't make any difference to it. You just pull it back a bit and it will just works just the same. So then on to piece F, which I think is the inside of his ear, if I remember rightly. So that's how that bit comes out with a different colour brown. So I'm sure it must be his ear, I'm not sure. And then there's piece G, again just two pieces of brown and a piece of the blue, and joined them together. There are quite a few pieces in this Scooby-Doo, but he does actually come out looking quite cute when he's finished, and it's worth the persevering with it. So piece H, that's his big black nose, and as you can see there on that piece, I did actually catch the papers, but like I say, it doesn't matter. You just pull it back. So don't fret over it. Don't rip it all out. There's no need. Now, because this piece was so small, I did actually sew through on the line, because it's so small, and I didn't want it to shift about very too much. So that's that tiny piece. That was piece I. Then piece J's just got three pieces on it, pink, black, and the brownie colour. And you think, well, where's that big piece of black going? But it does actually fit in and looks all right once he's made up. So piece K has got a little bit of background, and I did start with the pink on that one, which is the inside of his ear again. And you can see they do come out okay. They're not very big pieces, because he doesn't come out that big. This piece, because piece one was a bit bigger for on the brown. I didn't sew through the paper on that one. I did do the folding back, and I must have had a bit of a crease in that because the piece wasn't actually cut very accurately, as you can see. So that was the next piece, and I can't even make out what letter that is, but it was whatever the next one in the rotation was from before. I don't know if you can hear, but the bells are actually ringing in the village, and I don't know if you can hear them. So that's piece N, so the other one must have been M. So that's how that one's come out. Not too bad again. Some of them are a little out, but if it's in the seam allowance, I'm not worried. Don't worry about it. If it's in your seam allowance, you'll get away with not worrying about ripping it all out. I never rip out FPP unless I have to do, because you rip all your papers and it's just not worth the hassle. So it's easier to just add an extra piece in. So this is piece P, and this is going to be for his collar underneath. I chose a different. I think it's supposed to be a purple, but it's looking a bit pink on there, and yellow. That piece is just one piece, piece Q, so it's just a piece of background, so it's all one piece of background, which is just cut out of that. Then the next one is piece R. That's got background and a bit of brown. The only thing I found with this, the brown I was using was a bit like a tweed. So it was a bit thicker than the pinky background colour. So it didn't sit as flat and as round. So then you join A, B and C together in a picture as shown above. So up to joining all the pieces now. And so he's got his eyes and his eyebrows in there. He's looking okay. Then you add piece D. Don't forget that this is, when you do FPP, it's always reversed when you look at it. So he's actually looking the opposite way to what you're looking at the pattern, because the pieces are always reversed. So that's piece E to add on to the top of there. So you've got A, B, C, D, and now you're adding piece E onto the top. So that's onto the top of there. I think that's one of his ears at the top there. Yep. There's his other ear added in. That must be piece F that's added on. And then piece G, I presume, is added in there. So then you're onto the nose part. So you're adding that tiny little piece of I onto H. Just goes onto the bottom. And goes onto the bottom of his nose there, you can see. It slowly comes together, and there's piece J was added before, and then piece K is going in now into there. Sorry, I didn't realise I actually missed quite a few pieces there, but I think you get the gist of it, because it tells you on the pattern which pieces to put in the order that they should go on. So if you print the pattern off, it tells you in it all. So we've got piece M then, which goes at the side of his nose. So we add that bit in. So he's got his good old snouty nose on there. Then piece N comes onto the side of that. But don't forget, that's going to be, although it looks as though it's on the right side, when it's flipped over, it will actually be on the left, as you can see there. Sorry. So now we're going to get to the collar. So P and Q go to get joined together first. You join them together. And then once you've got them, you then need to add, oh, it's showing up a bit more purple on that. So that was P and Q. So, oh, there's Q. So that, it must have been O and P, and now Q. Yeah. So that's Q, which is just the background piece. So then you join in those two pieces to the piece where he's got his nose attached. So there's his nose and his mouth, and he's got his collar in there. So R goes on to the other side, which is the back of his neck, when you add that in. So so you more or less finish the bottom part of his face now, and you're going to then add the top part to the bottom part, which is your final pieces. And there he is, good old Scooby. He does look cheeky. He's a cheeky fellow. He's our Scoob. I added the background for which I've put around all of my blocks, which is the green, because my granddaughter likes peppermint green. So thank you all for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe and give a thumbs up. It was a bit long in showing you all, but I wanted to show you all the pieces that go into making him up. He's not too bad to make. There's one of Pogo and Perdita from the 101 Dalmatians. That's really difficult to make. So when you see that one pop up, you'll know that it is a difficult one to do. But again, it's not my pattern. They're just off Fandom in Stitches. Thanks a lot.